Carried. And now we move to our Community Board monthly reports, and I would invite Kim Money, Chair of the Waitai Coastal-Burwood Community Board, to present her report to Council. Kim, good morning. Welcome to the table. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. My intention this morning is to give 10 minutes to each Community Board, and obviously to allow time for questions if possible as well.
Great, thank you very much. Great to be here. Good morning, Andrew, and councillors, staff, community. And this morning I've got Joe Wells with me, our governance manager. So we're reporting on our February meetings, the board decisions under delegation. We've got some great stuff coming to our boards. Really nice to be able to grant a lease to the junior cricket pitch, or the East Shirley Cricket Club for a junior pitch there. You can see that the old bowling site was there, and they approached us to see if they could actually have that part for an extension for their juniors. So we were delighted to be able to grant them that lease, which is really exciting for the young'uns. You'll see on this photo there's a few delegations there which you will have read, which is also really great, giving out funds to our youth, some of those other things. And we also approved the granting of a lease to A-Town Boxing Gym, which has been a long time coming, but you can see the facility up there, and they've been working on that with council staff for quite some time now. So we were delighted to be able to give them a lease so that they can carry on and do the great work they do there in Aranui. We do have a Part A recommendation to you this morning, and that is regarding the Travis Road and Bower Ave 40km variable speed limit, and also the Frost Road permanent speed limit changes. And these are required because of the new schools that are going in, Avonside Girls High School and Shirley Boys High School. The staff have been working extremely well through this whole process, and we totally unanimously endorsed the staff's recommendation. So we hope that that goes through smoothly this morning. Significant council projects in the board area. As you can see, last month I said to you we had the sod turning of the Christchurch hot pools, and there is David digging down to China. I think he literally decided that he was going to start the project, but work will begin shortly. And in the background there you can see Aroha Crofts, who did the sod turning and the blessing, blessing for the site. So that was wonderful. You just had water, exactly. So that was a wonderful day, a very special day. The community issues, events and projects. We have been a very active community. It's just wonderful. The Burwood, Avondale and Dallington communities have all joined together for 3 events that they've held already. I think they've held 2 and one was postponed, but it's coming up shortly. But we do have another one that's coming up on the 30th of March that they are doing, which is called Duck Down to the River. And it's going to be a fantastic event. You can see the events that have already taken place as the movie nights. So good on them. They're pulling together after the earthquakes have hit them so hard. So the 3 communities are working to be able to give some real atmosphere for the community and just say all is well, and we're trying to bring you all together in places to just congregate and meet and chat. So it's wonderful. Another great pilot scheme we had last weekend was the 3PO presents a SOS Community Safety Expo, protecting people and property. And this was an outstanding event. It was showcasing how to protect yourself and your property, and how to foster community togetherness and individual well-being. And there was all sorts of organisations there that were able to give you information. So I would be really keen, and we would as a board, to see this project happen again. It was a pilot, and it would be great to see even other areas take it up, but it was doing something. There's concern in the communities about what's going on, and so here was a provided by Susie Bragg and the community down there at the old New Brighton School, and it was just a great event to learn. Everybody was there. It was great. Well done to them. South New Brighton Estuary Edge report. You're very aware that this is a hot topic for our community board. It's the area between the jetty and the new boardwalk and the camping ground. It's the estuary edge regarding the erosion. We're glad to say that council has engaged a consultant, I should say, to identify some options for this particular part. And we had a really beautiful day for a site visit and a walk around with some of the key stakeholders in the community, to be able to talk to the consultant and to be able to say some of the things that they felt needed to be included in the report. So apparently this is due next week, so all going well, we are looking forward to seeing what those options might be. So well done to everyone involved with that. Hawke Street car park, that's been an ongoing issue for our community. We've just had some good news. Part of it has been repaired there outside Couplands. It's a real safety issue. A bit of a dog's breakfast there in a couple of places, and so the community have been onto this and community board to try and address it. There's a couple of car parks that still do need to be addressed, but we have to, acknowledge that something has been done in one of those places, so that's good to see. Another issue that the community has brought to our attention as a board, and something we feel, is the New Brighton public toilets. Here we have on Shore Avenue, way back in the back there, you can see the three, whatever they are. What are they? Pelicans? Can't quite see. But anyway, that's the toilets way back there. You can see a branch hanging down, but they're in a real disarray. We haven't had an elderly resident approach us to say that they're not accessible. She can't get a walker frame in there to go to the toilet. These ones are at the opposite end to the playground in New Brighton, so they're the only public toilets available. And we've had a site meeting. Unfortunately, there's no money in the long-term plan for doing some redevelopment here at all. But the staff are going to be working on that and giving us a bit of an update there. They have also had a site meeting staff with DCL to see if they can come up between them with anything else. So we will get a briefing on this on Monday. Next we have our I Love New Brighton events and our Parklands at Play and our Children's Day. It's a really big event type, the I Love New Brighton. 7,000 people came to Thompson Park, 36 community groups involved and all that. I mean, staff do a wonderful job assisting the community groups with these amazing events to make them all work. So good on them. The one at Parklands at Play was based on recreation, so that was awesome as well. And of course the Children's Day is really amazing to see activation in the red zone. You can see our councillors up there, you can see Glenn with his daughter, you can see the mayor there with Dion. Everybody was getting into it and it was a fabulous day. So well done to everybody there. This weekend we've got the Ray White Duke surfing event starts tomorrow, so if you've got nothing much else to do, go and check it out down there. You can see some national and international surfers putting on their best performance over this weekend, so check that one out. Okay, so community board matters of interest. Last month I mentioned about the South Shore South New Brighton regeneration strategy and the lack of progress, and how this is our community is really anxious about this, and they would like to know where things are at. It was good to know that when we did bring this up last meeting, the council passed a resolution to have the staff give us a bit of a briefing, which they have done. I also read in Regen's report to council a while ago that the project is reported as being off track and on hold, and they have undertaken an internal review. So after 18 months on, we have not seen expected timelines met, which is very disappointing for this community, to say the least, that we're finding ourselves in this position at this time. A message to the council, please, is that we ask that any reports that are coming to you, that the board would see those first, please. And also another key message is that the community and board would like you to action, along with Regenerate Christchurch, is that the earthquake repairs are fixed to allow for the climate change conversation to be effective. So we are getting Regen coming to us on the 1st of April, so we really are expecting a full report and a positive briefing from them on the 1st of April. And finally, the board received an update on road and traffic matters that have been raised by our board and by our residents. The matters sought to be addressed by the board were heavy vehicles on Breezes Road, Dallington Bridge and the Avonside Gayhurst Gloucester intersection, and the Linwood Central Heathcote Community Board have also been involved with this. And road renewals in our ward, as well as pedestrian crossings, and the traffic operations team gave us a bit of a briefing on the minor works program, which relates to aspirational projects in our ward. So we have had extremely busy February. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much indeed for that. That does leave time for one or maybe two questions. Sarah.
Thanks for that, Kim. It's always good to see how much is happening in the area. Just wondering about those last comments about the work on with Regenerate. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that people were keen for the earthquake repairs to happen first, to allow the adaptation conversation to happen.
That's correct.
So does that mean that the community have decided they don't want to talk about adaptation
Not
until the repairs have been finished?
They need to go hand in hand. They need to work in tandem. So, I mean, 8 years on, there's been no earthquake repairs done at all, and we understand the situation is with the land and it's complicated. However, there's been a lot of talking for 8 years, and the community needs to see some action. And any earthquake repairs can include and involve the adaptation mechanisms that are required, so earthquake repairs just don't have to be earthquake repairs. They can also allow for the adaptation. So the conversation, they need to have some hope and some surety that something is going to happen, because they've had a lot of talk to this point.
Okay, it's the way that it was framed. It was like you didn't want to talk about adaptation until the repairs have been done, rather than doing it all together.
Apologies, it can be as well as, but they do need to see the repairs started, yes.
Okay, but those repairs need to take into account any adaptation strategy that we come up with.
Correct.
So we need to have the adaptation talk before the repairs can happen?
No, I think that, we build for a 50-year code, and we can do some protection for 50 years. That's what we do. But also when you do those, whatever earthquake repairs that you do, you also allow for the fact that it can be added to exactly like what's been happening at Shag Rock around that area. You've got your base, you've got allowing for that, you can add to it after the 50-year period. So, same thing.
Quite different, but yeah, another time.
All right, thank you. Tim, I'll take a question from you as well.
You just mentioned about no repairs being done, but my understanding is the Bridge Street Bridge, the pier we've just finished, we've got a new playground. I mean,
I'm just
a lot of
talking about
infrastructure.
that point was on the South Brighton and South Shores strategy. It's not talking about our ward, it's talking about those particular areas, just for clarification.
Great, thank you. So thank you very much indeed for the report. Clearly some great things happening in the community, some good events, and yeah, good to see some pictures coming back from those. Thanks very much indeed for the update. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we've got a resolution to receive the Community Board report. Dave, you're happy to move that. Glenn, you're happy to second. All those in favour say aye. Against?